Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Viradam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Samacharana Sarojam Sandra Neelambudabham Jakhana Nihida Panim Mandanam Mandanana Taruna Tulasimala Kantharam Kanchanetram Sadaya Dhavalahasam Vitthalan Chindayami Vitthalan Chindayami. So we'll start from 611. Sadguru or the teacher is a strange advisor who can make the disciple understand the most abstract self-knowledge, and therefore it is Sadguru who enjoys self-bliss through the joy of disciple. 612. The higher the disciple reaches towards the knowledge of Brahman, more free he is from the illusion of the world, and in that itself the Sadguru becomes happier and happier. 613. On the battlefield, it is the general who fights and defeats the enemy, but the victory is celebrated by the king in his palace. Similarly, the disciple is absorbed and totally merged in the divine bliss, but it is the Sadguru who starts swimming in the ocean of that joy. 614. It is to this Sadguru, who has intense desire for the liberation of the disciple, that one should approach for learning the Bhagavata way of life, about which mention is made earlier.
इति भागवतान् धर्मान् शिक्षन् भक्त्या तदुत्थया नारायण परो मायाम् अंजस्तरति दुस्तराम्.
Meaning of the verse. Thus, learning and following the way of life of the Bhagavatas is devotion developing into divine love. The devotee easily crosses the otherwise impossible Maya. 615. This is the situation of the Bhagavata way of life. It should be learned by approaching with all humility the Sadguru, so that the power of Maya cannot affect the disciple. 616. Maya cannot be controlled by study of Vedas and scriptures. It is beyond the grasp of even gods like Brahman. But there are people who surrender to the Lord directly, who can tide over this Maya by simply remembering the Lord's name. 617. Maya simply runs away as soon as the devotees shout the name of Hari, and therefore the devotees easily find the way to go beyond Maya, and they are very happy. 618. O King, this Maya is the power of great Lord Narayana, and if we worship the sacred feet of Narayana himself, then only we can go beyond her. You had asked me about this, and I have given you advice of worship. 619. You had asked me what is the most useful way of going beyond this Maya, and I have told you thus. You must remember that this is the only way to be successful, to be free. 620. Devotion begets satisfaction. Devotion gives you freedom permanently. Devotion makes it possible for you to attain God, and by devotion only Maya disappears. 621. I repeat that by devotional songs sung at the height of our voice, Maya runs for her life. Even simple sounds can tide over Maya by this devotion. 622. Then the king Janaga asked about the nature of Narayana, by whose devotion it was said that devotees could escape from this great illusion called Maya.
राजोवाच नारायणाभिधानस्य ब्रह्मणः परमात्मनः निष्ठामर्हत नो वक्तुम् यूयं हि ब्रह्मवित्तमाः.
Meaning of the verse. O sages, since you are the foremost of adepts who have realized Brahman, please explain to us the real nature of Paramatman or Brahman, whose name is Narayana. 623. When the king heard that the only way of going beyond Maya is to see God in everything, he was very happy and he eagerly asked about the absoluteness of Paramatman. 624. The king asked about the nature of the Lord Narayana, by whose devotion great devotees can go beyond Maya. 625. The king asked about the only truth, which is known by the three words such as Brahman, Paramatman, and Narayana, which he wanted to know in detail. 626. Narayana is the name given by the experts in Vedas to the base of everything, that principle which occupies everything in the world, both in and out. 627. The king said, it is by great fortune that great oceans of knowledge like you are available to me. By the good advice you are giving me, my ego and pride have disappeared. 628. By your talk of great surge of joy has arisen in my heart, and my mind is so disturbed that I am not satisfied, however much more I listen. 629. Listening to the important question of the king, the sage Pipalayana, the younger brother of Prabuddha, came forward to speak.
पिप्पलायन उवाच स्थित्युद्भवप्रलयहेतुरहेतुरस्य यत् स्वप्नजागरसुषुप्तिषु सद्बहिश्च देहेन्द्रियासु हृदयानि चरन्ति येन सञ्जीवितानि तदवेहि परं नरेन्द्र.
Meaning of the verse. O ruler of men, know the supreme reality which is responsible for the creation, sustenance, and dissolution of this universe, and has no cause of its own, and that which exists in waking, dream, and deep sleep state, as well as the supra-conscious state, and animated by which the body senses breathe and the inner mind exists and perform their functions. 630. Pipalayana said, my dear one, he who is the cause of the creation of the universe, by whose power everything is maintained, and by whose power the destruction takes place, and who is the main energy behind all the three states of the universe. 631. One who is the origin of this world, and one who is without any purpose, and always full with the bliss of existence is Narayana, that you should understand properly. 632. The sky is aloof in all the three times of morning, noon, and evening. Similarly, this Paramatman, this Narayana, is untouched by the stage of creation, existence, and annihilation of the universe. 633. Now you may ask, who is the observer seeing on the three stages? I will explain to you in some details by giving example. 634. Narayana is the principle, being a witness beyond the three states of waking, dreaming, and sleeping. When all the three stages are not there, then there is certain awareness. That is Narayana. 635. Narayana is that spirit in the purity of which there is knowledge of the waking state, knowledge which is illusory in the dream state, and the factor of a witness in the sleeping state. 636. O the great king, know that Narayana is the name of the divine flame, Paramatman, who is the dweller of the innermost of all the beings. 637. If he described in these words the Brahman, you may think that it is impossible to realize it. I therefore tell you a simple fact by which it will be understood personally. 638. The Paramatman is in your heart in its fullness. It is by its power that the mind, the intellect, vital force, and the organs function. 639. By its light, the eyes see, by its power, the tongue tastes, by its attention, the ears are able to understand the sound. 640. By its pride, the ego maintains its pride, and the mind meditates by its power. By its power, the consciousness functions, and intellect has the capacity to know everything certainly. 641. By its power, the physical body can move. The skin experiences hot, cold, hot, cold, soft, hard, etc. Touched by its power only. The feet walk and the hand gives or takes because the Paramatman is there, the mover of things. 642. The breathing and the closing and opening of eyelids become possible by its power, and it is by its quality of joy that the beings experience the joy of sex. 643. Thus, he who is the director and controller of all the three worlds and who also resides in everybody's heart is called Narayana, and he is Paramatman. 644. Now, if you venture to say that this Paramatman is subject to the control of all these, that is, the mind, the intellect, the pranas, and the organs, which are actually controlled by it, that will be impossible. 645. Now, if you think yourself to be the knower and try to know that reality, you will not know what is to be known, because the intellect cannot enter that reality by dividing itself into two factors, one as the knower and the other as the object to be known. 646. Please understand that all the positions as the knowing and the not knowing should be left known back, and only the state of isness is to be there. Then only there will be Parat Brahman only existing in its own power.
नैतन्मनो विशति वागुतचक्षुरात्मा प्राणेन्द्रियाणि च प्राणेन्द्रियाणि च यथानलमर्चिषस्वाहा शब्दोऽपि बोधकनिषेधतयात्ममूलम् अर्थोक्तमाह यदृतेन निषेधसिद्धिः.
Meaning of the verse: just as the fire cannot be illuminated or burned by its own sparks, the wind, intellect, speech, eye, life, breath, and senses cannot grasp or reach the ultimate reality. The revealed word Veda too makes no positive statement about it, though it is the authority to prove its existence. By denying itself the power to describe it, it speaks of it by inference. No negative description, however, would be possible if there were no reality actually in existence. 647. The mind can imagine about Vaikuntha, Kailasa, the ocean of milk, etc., but the mind and intellect have no capacity to imagine what is Atman. 648. The mind, which can project an image of all the three worlds, cannot enter the reality, that is Atman. Intellect is no doubt the definite aspect of the thinking process, but it also cannot reach the absolute Brahman. 649. That which is beyond the flight of mind and intellect is naturally enough, very far away from speech. Thus, the poor word can never grasp the Brahman, can never grasp that Brahman which is beyond everything. 650. If you try to tie the sky in a square, four-cornered globe, all the four corners will remain open without anything bound by them. Similarly, if we try to tell something about the absolute Brahman, the very power and capacity of the word is lost. 651. Even the power of action, which works because of the vital life force, cannot touch it. So how can the organs find it? 652. For example, the sun is reflected in a dirty pond, but by that, the sun does not become dirty. Similarly, you must realize that Paramatman is really very far away and beyond mind, the organs, and the intellect. 653. That which is beginningless mind behind the mind, which is the wiser intellect, the wisdom prior to intellect, that which is the primary eye behind the eyes, and that which is the basic ear behind the listening organ, which is the outer ear. 654. That which is the matrix of smell behind the nose, that which is tongue behind the organ of tasting, which people call the tongue, and that which is the receptor of touch behind the skin, and also that which is the soul of the soul. 655. That which is the cause of organs, that which is non-active though full of activity, that can never be the subject of senses. 656. How can mind reach up to that which the intellect cannot see? How can that Paramatman be grasped by hearing, seeing, and smelling? And how can it be reached through contact of the objects and the sense organs? 657. How can speech reach up to that which pranas have no power to approach? It bashfully retreats. What status is there for the organs of activities? 658. Many sparks fly out of burning coal, but each spark cannot give us full idea of the whole fire. 659. Or so many sunstones dazzle in the sun, but sun is not fully expressed in any of them. 660. Or many waves rise on the sea, but they cannot show us the total expanse and depth of the sea. 661. Similarly, organs are born out of Brahman, but they cannot express the whole Brahman through them. 662. If sugar cane will be produced out of sugar, or if banana tree can be created from its product, which is the banana fruit, both are impossible things, then only the organs can know Brahman, but even gods cannot know it. 663. Here a doubt arises. If organs cannot at all understand Brahman, then the soul, the jiva, will never be free from bondage, and the chain of birth and death will never be broken. 664. There is a saying in Vedanta that by word one can have direct experience of reality. You may be thinking along those lines and asking whether that saying is not true. 665. So, O king, please listen. The fact is that the word creates the feeling of knowledge and meaning. Then, giving to the jiva the knowledge of Brahman, the word goes into believing. I will describe this in detail, to which please pay attention. 666. Vedas set about making a vow to free the jiva from the bondage of this worldly life. But while trying to churn and analyze each and every principle, they were out of their depth. 667. The Vedanta used the words not this, to discount the existence of non-essential things, but in a way they indirectly indicated the quality of non-perishable artifact. But Vedas were not able to show directly the reality of artifacts. 668. One who reaches the understanding that Brahman is that which word cannot verbalize is the man who, in that understanding itself, becomes that Brahman. 669. Vedanta indicates by negative approach of words like not this, the same Brahman indirectly, and one who jumps up from the springboard of these words can reach that indescribable state. 670. The man whose arrow of intellect touches that principle which the word indicates by negative terms is decidedly himself that principle of Brahman, and that is also the final limit of negative probe. 671. The word slays itself totally, creating experience.
We can pause over here. Hari. Sorry, I thought I had unmuted and stop at 670. Okay, first you can tell your thoughts, Radhakrishnanji, what you felt while reading.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's very illuminating and a very good description of what I thought is a very good description of Paramatman or Narayana, Vipanayana to the king, and very beautifully described what Paramatman is, which is basic power behind all the sense organs, which the mind and intellect cannot reach, understand. Is fathomless thing, which even in the mind and intellect of anybody cannot enter. That I found it very touching, really. I mean, it is very indescribable thing that awareness. It is as if it is a witness to all of our whatever we do and whatever see and hear and everything. That is one aspect. And the other aspect is verse 668. If you know what is Brahman, then you become Brahman himself. Brahma with Brahma Bhavati, like that. So if you know all the qualities and attributes and characteristics of Brahman, then you become yourself a Brahman. And the other thing that is interesting is about comparing all the what is happening in the world as the waves of ocean. As Guru Chinnahandaji was saying, the waves, even though they belong to the ocean are not in the waves. So that I found it's quite attractive to think about. Yes.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Such lovely revelations. Anybody has any other thoughts?
Yeah, I like that. The eye behind the eye, the ear behind the ear. Keno Upanishad says something like that. That it is the power behind the organ, actually. And one more thing is about the three states: the sleep, dream, and the waking. Narayana is beyond all the three states, and something that witness beyond the three states.
Yes, beautiful. Today's reading is like such a pure Vedanta, amazing. Some means where there is a limitation of words to describe it, which cannot be the object of the known. To understand that there are so many ways that it has been said, but finally the way to be chosen is naiti only, not this, not this. It's not this, it's not this, it's not, because there is no other way to describe because it's indescribable. And here Maharaj puts it in such lovely Ovis, and it's one after each OV revealing that truth. Beautiful reading. Anybody has any other thoughts? Okay, so then let's go for the closing prayers. And then on Monday, we start from 671. Over to you, Radhakrishnanji.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavachishyate. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Shri Krishna Pranamastu.
Hari Om, everyone. Thank you, Radhakrishnanji. Thank you, everyone, for joining. See you all on Monday. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you, Jay.